Good morning, everyone. The atomic structure continuation part. The next part is electronic configuration of atoms. First of all, what are electronic configuration of atoms? The distribution and arrangement of an electrons in main shells. Main shells means principal constant number. Subshells and orbitals. See that the distribution and arrangement of an electrons in the main shells, subshells and orbitals of an atom is called what? Electronic configuration of atoms. So how do we distribute the electrons in various orbitals we are going to discuss now, right? So this electronic configuration of different atoms can be represented mainly in two ways. So the first way is NLX method and the next way is orbital diagram method, students. What is this NLX method means? It is a way of representing the electronic arrangements in an atom. Way of representing the electronic arrangements in an atom. For example, I am taking helium only. What is the electronic configuration of helium? 1s2. Helium electronic configuration is what? 1s2. So this 1s2 we can represent like this. Right? What is here 1 and what is here s and what is here 2? That we are going to discuss. 1 is nothing but here n value. This indicates what? N. Right? N means what? A principal constant number. This is what? Principal constant number, which is denoted with the small n. So what is the n value here means? N equals to 1 we can write. What is s here? S is nothing but azimuthal constant number. Azimuthal constant number, which is represented with what? L. That means it denotes with S, P, D, F orbital, S subshells, right? For S subshell, what is the L value? 0. For a P subshell, what is the L value? 1. For a D subshell, what is the L value? 2. For F subshell, what is the L value? 3. We know already that. Already we have discussed. Then what is this 2 indicates number of electrons. Number of electrons. Right, students? So here they have given, you see that. NLX. N means principal constant number. In place of N, what is there here? 1 is there. L indicates what? Azimuthal constant number. In place of L, what is there here? S subshell is present. Here X is nothing but number of electrons. In place of X here, 2 is present. That means what? How many number of electrons are present in this subshell means 2 electrons are present, students. So like this we can represent. This is the way of representing the electronic arrangements in the atoms. Okay. And next, if you see that the second notation, that is orbital diagram method, each orbital of the subshell is represented by a box. That means what? 1s2 only you take. We can represent with what? A box like this. So in that box we can represent the electrons. How many electrons are present in this? 2 electrons. You can represent with one is upward arrow and other one is what? Downward arrow. Upward arrow indicated by plus sign. Downward arrow indicated by negative sign. This is the use of second notation. So if you compare both the notations, second notation, some advantage is there in case of second notation. See that the advantage of second notation over the first is that it represents all the 4 constant numbers. It represents all the 4 constant numbers. This is second representation. Why it represents all the 4 constant numbers means, you see that in the first notation we can represent only with NLX method, that is 1s2. By using this we can write n value, and L value also we can write by using S orbital, right? S subshell we can write L value. If you know L value, M values we can write, but we cannot write the spin constant number. When we can able to write the spin constant number, only we can able to write the spin constant number by representing the electrons in a box. In a box, right, students? So the main advantage of second notation over the first is what? It represents all the 4 constant numbers. Suppose 1s2 down, if you put it like this box means we can able to write n value, L value, M value and S value also, students. So all the 4 constant numbers we can able to write. Okay, by using what? Second method. Okay, na? So this is the way of representing the various electrons in an atom. That means what? In main shells or subshells or orbitals, whatever it may be. So how do we distribute the electrons means this is the way we have. So the filling of electrons in the orbitals of atoms takes place according to, we know already that Haber principle, Pauli's exclusion principle and Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. So what are these rules we will discuss now, students. I hope everybody understood how do we represent these electronic configurations and all. Now if you know these three rules, then you can able to write the electronic configurations by your own also. So we will see some of the elements we will take and we will write the electronic configurations also, students, right? Now we will discuss about the rules. The first rule we have, that is Haber principle. Haber principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. These three rules are very, very important in case of board examination, students. Okay, that we will discuss. Let us see, students, the first rule we have, that is Haber principle. Haber is a German word which means building up or construction. Building up of orbitals means filling up of orbitals with the electrons. So how do we fill the electrons in various orbitals in an atom? We are going to discuss in this Haber principle. So what is the principle? What is the Haber principle statement means? This you have to write, students. What is that? In the ground state of the atoms, the orbitals are in order of their increasing energies. See that in the ground state of the atoms, the orbitals are in order of their increasing energies. That means what? How do we fill the electrons in various atomic orbitals? Means we have to fill the electrons in the increasing order of their energies of various orbitals, right? So that means what? The first electrons will enter into lowest energy orbital and then only the electrons will enter into next higher energy orbital, students. So how do we get to know, sir, which is having a higher in energy or which is having lower in energy of orbitals? Means we have a clue point that is based on n plus L value. We can identify easily, students. So how do we identify? Let us see by using one example. We will get to know. 3D orbital I have given to you. 3D orbital. In this 3D orbital, what is 3 here? N. It represents N, principal constant number. T represents azimuthal constant number. So n plus L value you can calculate for 3D orbital. What is the N value here? 3. So in case of D subshell, what is the L value? 2. We know already that if L equals to 0 means S subshell. If L equals to 1 means P subshell. If L equals to 2 means D subshell. If L equals to 3 means F subshell. We know already, we have discussed this many times, right? So now you take, in place of D subshell you take 2, right? Correct. 3 plus 2 total 5 here. You can calculate in case of 4s orbital, what is the N value? 4. For S subshell, what is the L value? 0. 4 plus 0, 4. So among these two, which is higher in energy means 3D, which is lower in energy means 4s. So the first electrons will enter into the lowest energy orbital. Then only the electrons will enter into next higher energy orbital, right, students? Among 4s and 3D, which is lower in energy means 4s is lower in energy. Next 3D will come. So first the electrons will enter into 4s orbital. Then only the electrons will enter into 3D orbital, students. So this we have to identify clearly here. Okay, now so see that the orbital with the lowest n plus L value is filled first. When 2 or more orbitals have the same n plus L value, then what to do? You see that. First, next example I am giving to you 3D, 4p and 5s. In these 3 orbitals also, first you calculate the n plus L value. What is the n plus L value for 3D? Already we have calculated. That is 3 plus 2, which is equals to what? 5. In case of 4p orbital, what is the n value here? 4. For p subshell, what is the L value? 1. 4 plus 1, 5. And the similar manner, 5s subshell you take. In the case of 5s, what is the n value? Means 5. For s subshell, what is the L value? 0. 5 plus 0, 5, students. So see that 3D, 4p, 5s possess same n plus L value. Then how do we enter the electrons in such cases? See, that only I am going to tell you. When 2 or more orbitals have the same n plus L value, in such cases, how do we enter the electrons in various orbitals? Means first we should take which is having the lowest n value or highest L value. We should choose an as a lowest energy orbital. The one with the lowest n value or highest L value is preferred in filling. So among 3D, 4p, 5s, which is the lowest n means 3, which is the highest L means D. D value here 2, here 1, here 0. So compare with these 3. L value is more in case of 3D, N value is very less in case of 3D compared to remaining 3. So first which is the lowest in energy means 3D students. Next 4P, next 5S. So in case of N plus L value is same, in such cases we should observe the principal quantum number which is the lowest N value, or if you observe with respect to azimuthal quantum number, that is L value, which is having higher L value, that we should take first and we should fill the electrons in such orbital. That orbital possesses lowest in energy compared with the remaining. That you have to identify. So by observing 2 means you may confuse. So first you have to choose only principal quantum number among all these 3 orbitals which is having the lowest principal quantum number. That orbital you should fill first. Then only the next orbital you have to fill, students. That you have to keep in our mind. This is very easy. But for each and every orbital we cannot calculate like this N plus L value, no sir. But we have a easy trick also to remember this increasing energy of various atomic orbitals. So the sequence in which the electrons occupy various orbitals can be easily remembered with the help of Moeller diagram, students. So what is that Moeller diagram? How do we write the increasing order of various atomic orbitals in an atom by using a Moeller diagram? We are going to discuss now, students. First to copy these points. Let us see, students, the sequence in which the electrons occupy various orbitals can be easily remembered by using what? This Moeller diagram. So how I have drawn the Moeller diagram, you see that? First I have taken 1s to 7s orbitals because in the periodic table we have 7 periods, right? S subshell starts from first orbit. So that's why 1 to 7s I have taken. Okay, na? So 7 periods I have taken indirectly. Okay? So P subshell starts from second orbit, so that's why I have started with the second. So second 2p to 7p I have drawn here, right? And D subshell starts from third orbit, so that's why I have started with the third shell. This is 3d to 6d I have written. 7d I did not write because 7d we will not get only. Okay, na? By writing the electronic configurations of various elements. Now F subshell starts from fourth shell. So fourth shell from 4f onwards I have taken. And 5f only I have taken because we will not get 6f only while writing the electronic configuration of various elements in the periodic table. So that's why I have taken 4f and 5f. If you want you can take it, but we will not use only. If you want you can take next this one 5f. Here 70. That is your wish. Because we are not using only, we are using only these orbitals while filling the electrons in the various elements. So that's why I have chosen only these orbitals. Okay. So now you see that increasing of energy of various atomic orbitals I have drawn. So first lowest energy is 1s, and next 2s, and then next 2p, and then 3s, and then 3p, and then 4s, and then 3d, and then 4p, and then 5s. I have shown here. I have shown correctly here with the arrow mark. You see that. You can observe here. After 5s, 4d, 5p. 6s, again 4f, 5d, 6p, 7s, next 5f, 6d, 7p. So like this we can observe easily without the knowledge of even n plus L value also. We can identify the various increasing energies of various atomic orbitals. Okay, na? Or else you can apply n plus L value. If they ask comparison between any two orbitals means you can use easily n plus L value. I have given to you clarity there. Okay. Now based on this Moeller diagram only I have written the order of increasing energy of various atomic orbitals, students. This you can copy it. This Moeller diagram will be helpful for you in the case of numericals also, while solving the numericals also. So this Moeller diagram sometimes they may ask in the board examination also. Draw the Moeller diagram. For 1 mark or 2 marks they are asking. So you have to practice this Moeller diagram. It will be very easy, only 1 or 2 times you can practice it. I hope everybody got this. Okay. The next rule we have, that is Pauli's exclusion principles, that we will discuss, students. First to copy this. Let us see, students, the next principle we have, that is Pauli's exclusion principle. So what is Pauli's exclusion principle means? No 2 electrons in an atom can have all the set of 4 quantum numbers. Can have the same set of values of all the 4 quantum numbers. Why this no 2 electrons in an atom can have the same set of values of all the 4 quantum numbers, we are going to discuss. Suppose if you take here helium, what is the electronic configuration of helium? 1s2. 1s2 means orbital picture this one, right? One is in upward direction, other electron will be downward direction. We know already that. So for first electron, if you observe the n value, L value and M value. What is the n value here? 1. For S subshell, what is the L value? 0. L equals to 0 means L should be 0 na? Then what is the spin quantum number for first electron? Upward direction means plus half. Upward direction, what is the value? Plus half. For second electron, you take students. For second electron, if you consider the second electron, N value is same, 1. L is also same, 0 only for S subshell. L0 means compulsory M value should be 0. But the next electron should be in the opposite direction, so that's why S value should be minus half, students. See that no 2 electrons in an atom can have the same set of values of all the 4 quantum numbers. No 2 electrons in an atom did not possess all the quantum numbers are same. That means 2 electrons in an atom may have same N, same L, same M, but they differ in the spin quantum number, students. That we have to keep in our mind. That was given by Pauli, scientist. Pauli's exclusion principle. This is very, very important, right? So this is the meaning of Pauli's exclusion principle. No 2 electrons in an atom can have the same set of values of all the 4 quantum numbers. That means in the 2 electrons in an orbital may have same N, same L value, same M value, but they differ in spin quantum number, students. This is Pauli's exclusion principle, right? So in an orbital, if one electron in clockwise direction, the other has anti-clockwise spin. That means it follows that an orbital can hold a maximum of 2 electrons with opposite spins. So if any 2 electrons are present in the given orbital, means the 2 electrons should be arranged in the opposite direction, students. That is the rule we have, right? This is nothing but what? Pauli's exclusion principle. So already we have seen the formulas. Again I have written here, you see that the maximum number of electrons we can accommodate in the given principal energy level in the given main shell is denoted with 2n square. What is n here? Principal quantum number, n value, right? N value. In first orbit, how many maximum number of electrons we can accommodate? You can substitute n value 1. In second orbit, how many electrons we can accommodate maximum? N equals to 2, you can substitute. Like that we can calculate for first shell, second shell, third shell, fourth shell. Main shell number of electrons we can calculate, student, by using 2n square formula. And this is main shell. Next category is what? Subshell. Next orbital. So the maximum number of electrons in a subshell, how do we calculate? Means subshell denoted by L, right? So subshell, that means what? Azimuthal quantum number defines the subshell or sublevel, right? So subshell, so that's why here 4L plus 2 I have given to you. 4L plus 2 in some of the textbooks they make you like this also. What is that means? 2 into 2L plus 1. Both are same, students. If you multiply with 2, again you will get this only. See that 4L plus 2. Directly you can take, or else some of the textbooks they make you like this. Don't confuse, both the formulas are same. So 4L plus 2. What is L here? Azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number defines the sublevel or subshell. If L equals to 0, how many electrons we can maximum accommodate? Means 2 in S subshell. In P subshell, maximum 6 because 3 orbitals are present. L equals to 1, you substitute. Definitely you will get 6 electrons, right? D subshell, L equals to 2. You can substitute here. 2 4s are 8 plus 2, 10 electrons. Because the D subshell possesses how many orbitals? 5 orbitals. L equals to 3 in case of F subshell, right? 3 4s are 12 plus 2, 14 electrons. Because F subshell contains 7 orbitals. Total 7 orbitals. In each orbital we can accommodate 2 electrons. So 7 2s are 14 electrons, students. So like this we can take maximum number of electrons in a subshell by using the formula that is 4l plus 2. Okay, I hope everybody got it. And we know already in this one, the maximum number of electrons in an orbital, we can accommodate maximum to the 2 electrons with opposite spins, students. We know already this. This is about what? Pauli's exclusion principle. And the last principle we have, that is Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. That also we will see that, students. You copy this. Let us see, students, the last principle we have, that is Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, right? This rule mainly deals the arrangement of electrons in degenerate orbitals. What are degenerate orbitals, students? Very, very important for 1 mark question. Degenerate orbitals are nothing but the orbitals which are having the same energy. The orbitals which are having the same energy and shape. Such type of orbitals are called as what? Degenerate orbitals. Suppose if you observe P subshell. P subshell means how many orbitals are present in P subshell? 3 orbitals are present. Px, Py, Pz. Right? So these 3 orbitals are degenerate orbitals in P subshell. Now if we observe D subshell. D subshell contains how many orbitals total? 5 orbitals. So all these 5 D orbitals possess same in energy and shape also same. D subshell means all 5 D orbitals are having double only. P subshell is a dumbbell shape, right? And F subshell contains how many orbitals total? 7 orbitals, right? Like this. So all are complex structure. We know already that. So all these are what? Degenerate orbitals. Examples I have given to you. So mainly this Hund's rule explains the arrangement of electrons in degenerate orbitals. Mainly explain how do we accommodate the electrons in case of degenerate orbitals. Mainly this rule deals the arrangement of electrons in degenerate orbitals, right? So what is this rule means? We will see that, students. Pairing of electrons in the orbitals belonging to the same subshell. That subshell may be P, T or F, any one. Okay, na? Or all the 3 also. You see that pairing of electrons in the orbitals belonging to that subshells. How the pairing of an electrons taking place? We will see that. Does not take place until each orbital belonging to that subshell has got 1 electron each. 1 electron each with the same spin. That is, all the orbitals are singly occupied. Suppose if you observe, you are going to enter the electrons in P subshell. Suppose 1s2, 2s2, 2p3 is there among. How will you enter these electrons in this? In 2p3 are there na 3 we can enter like this. 1 electron each. But some of the students may enter vice or maximum how many electrons we can accommodate in each orbital means 2 na. I will enter here 2 and the next electron I will enter here, like that they may arrange. So this is wrong, I am telling you. So how to enter? What is this rule? Main aim of rule is what? This rule mainly deals the arrangement of an electrons in degenerate orbitals. How do we enter? How do we arrange the electrons in case of degenerate orbitals? Means first all the degenerate orbitals should be filled with 1 electron. Then only pairing is taking place according to this rule. You see that pairing of electrons in the orbitals belonging to the same subshell P, D or F does not take place until each orbital belonging to that subshell has got 1 electron each with the same spin. That means all the degenerate orbitals are singly occupied, then only pairing taking place first. That means what? First you should enter 1 electron like this. 1 electron you should enter. Suppose next electron will enter into 2p, right? Until 6 electrons, right? 2p4. So in 2p4, 4th electron will enter. Now pairing is taking place. In case of P subshell, which electron pairing is taking place? 4th electron pairing is taking place. In D subshell, first we should enter 1 electron in each orbital. 6th electron only pairing taking place. In case of D subshell, which electron pairing is taking place? 6th electron pairing taking place, right? In case of F subshell, first you should enter 1 electron in each orbital. Then 7 orbitals are there, 7 electrons, right? So 8th electron pairing taking place in case of F subshell. So pairing of electrons taking place in case of P subshell 4th electron, in case of D subshell 5th electron, sixth electron. In case of f subshell, eighth electron pairing taking place, right? So that we have to keep in our mind. Then we take one example and we will discuss how do we distribute the electrons in case of degenerate orbitals, right? For example, I have given to you boron. What is the atomic number of boron? Boron atomic number is what? 5. So what is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. This everybody knows it. If you don't know, then we will discuss in the next class. Electronic configuration only, next topic. Okay, after completion of this, there we will discuss. Suppose you take this is p subshell. In p subshell, how many electrons are there here? Only one electron. So as this we will write. No problem here. But you take next element is what after boron? Carbon. Carbon electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. 2p2. The next electron. One electron means we can enter easily. But the next electron, some of the students may fill the electrons like this also. Some of the students may fill like this. But very less students only can able to fill like this, the electrons. Because according to our rule, the maximum number of electrons can be accommodated in the each orbital. How many? 2 electrons. So first they will fill their 2 electrons here and then next here, next here. The students may follow that also. So that's why Hunt, a scientist, proposed one rule. This rule leads the arrangement of electrons in the degenerate orbital, students. So what is that Hunt's rule? According to Hunt's rule, the electrons first you should enter in each orbital 1 electron in case of degenerate orbitals. After getting 1 electron in each degenerate orbital, then only pairing is taking place. So without accommodate 1 electron in all the degenerate orbitals, how the pairing is taking place here? So this was not obeyed the Hunt's rule. So this is wrong. This is correct, students. This is correct. This is wrong. Okay, now that we have to identify here clearly. Next, to take nitrogen. Nitrogen 7. So what is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So such type of questions they are asking even in a competitive examination, students. In case of CET level, they are asking. So among the following elements, electronic configuration, which atom electronic configuration violates Hunt's rule? Violates Hunt's rule. That means what? Carbon they may give like this. This one violates the Hunt's rule, right? This one obeys the Hunt's rule. That we have to identify. Now you observe nitrogen 2p3. How do we accommodate the electrons here? So 1 electron, here 1 electron, here 1 electron. So all the degenerate orbitals filled with 1 electron. Next pairing taking place, right? But you should not fill the electrons like this. You should not fill the electrons like this. This is wrong. That we have to identify, students. Next, after nitrogen we have oxygen. Oxygen 8. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So now you observe here 3 orbitals are present. In 2p subshell, total number of electrons, how many are present? 4 electrons are present. In each orbital, first you should enter 1 electron. Still electrons are present, extra electrons. That electrons should pair up here. One more electron is there, so this orbital is paired. That is what? 4th electron is paired in case of p subshell. In case of d subshell, 6th electron is going to fill. And in case of f subshell, 8th electron is filled. Is going to fill 8th electron because it possesses 7 orbitals, right? Everybody knows that. So this is the way how do we arrange the electrons in case of degenerate orbitals according to Hunt's rule, students. Now you take fluorine. Next one. Fluorine is 9. Atomic number is 9. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. So you take 3 orbitals. In each orbital, first you should enter 1 electron, and then pairing taking place with opposite spin like this, right? 5 electrons accommodated. And the next last one I am giving to you neon. Neon 10. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. This 2p6 I am drawing here, you see that. In each orbital, first you should enter 1 electron, and then pairing taking place. Still 3 more electrons are there. So all the 2p orbitals are filled with the 2 electrons. Here there is no unpaired electron. So like this we have to arrange the electrons in case of degenerate orbitals, students. So I have given to you one example also. One example means the students are feeling like Only one example they have asked, so boron they will write. That is not concerned of one example, students. You should write at least up to oxygen, or else you should write from boron to neon electronic configuration. This all comes under one example of Hund's rule only. I hope everybody got about this Hund's rule. Hund's rule is one of the important question even in competitive examinations also, along with the board exam students. So what is Hund's rule? Pairing of electrons in the orbitals belonging to the same subshell does not take place until each orbital belonging to that subshell has got one electron each with the same spin. All the orbitals are occupied with one electron first. Then only the pairing is taking place, students. So this is about what Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. So all the rules we have completed, students. What are that? Hopf principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, and Hund's rule. By using all these three rules, how do we arrange the electrons? How do we write the electronic configurations of various elements? We will see in the next class, students. Okay, na? Thank you. Copy this.